I'm a firm believer that creativity is going to be that last outpost, because I just don't believe a machine is going to be able to replicate the ability for a human to create feeling out of communication. I
Mm.
think when you have a look at communication that's done through AI, and there's a lot of it, you can see it very, very quickly and easily, and it's lifeless, it's soulless to me. So I still believe that creatives are going to be that last sort of stance when it comes to the machine. You know, what we can come up with, can good communication is emotional. It makes you feel something, and I'm yet to see that from AI.
Mm. I mean, we've been working at Nicework in emergent technology forever. We started making Flash games, and it was like the birth of interactivity. Then there was interactive DVDs, which was the first time you could kind of, as a user, interact with content and structure your own stuff. And I remember watching an interview with Trent Reznor, and the guy was asking him, he was like, well, this is when tools like Ableton and Pro Tools were just sort of coming out. So
Yeah,
you no longer needed a, a
huge
million
big
dollar
mixing,
desk
yeah,
to
mixing
like
board.
produce
Yeah,
stuff. You could do it all on a computer.
yeah,
And the guy was like, so what do you think about this as a electronic music producer? Like, what's going to happen for you? And he said, well, what's going to happen is there's going to be more music, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good music,
yeah, yeah,
because good music comes from a specific place, made by a specific person for a specific reason. And I think that's a little bit what's happening here, is that it's hard to have that little feeling, that little nugget that people build around, that other people can then see and feel and engage with and
yeah.
care about. That's not linear, it's not pattern based, it's something else.
Yeah, so I talk a lot about this, and one of the things I like to talk about is going back to the late '80s, early '90s. Along came a thing called Photoshop. Now, if you were a photographer, and you were doing retouching, you either did it in a dark room, or you did it, with an airbrush or other tools. And when Photoshop came along, there was this huge big pushback to it. And either you, as a photo retoucher, embraced this new tool, or you just continued doing it in your old ways, and you probably got left behind and were without a
Mm.
job. So for me, AI is just another tool. How do we use it? How do we adapt to it? How do we use its strengths? Um, but it's not going to replace it. You know, at the end of the day, it's just going to be another tool that'll actually maybe help us be more efficient. One of the pieces of work that won last year was for Squarespace, and it was a spot that was done by Martin Scorsese. And I know David Lee, who's the head creative on Squarespace. He actually did a presentation for us on how they used AI in convincing Martin to actually do the job. And he's a very visual person. And what they did is they actually went and used Midjourney and a number of other AI tools to comp up what the final product would look like. And it was so close to the original. But they didn't use that as the final piece. They then went out and shot it. But
Mm.
they used that as the comp to illustrate what the final piece would look like. So, AI is great for doing fast comms to get an idea out there to make it look somewhat, reference to what you will produce in the end. But I don't think that agencies should just be relying on the end product to come from AI. I mean, it's again, as I say, it's a tool.